Last year's words belong to last year's language, and next year's words await another voice. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. To do the useful thing, to say the courageous thing, to contemplate the beautiful thing, that is enough for one man's life. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. I said to my soul, "Be still and wait without hope," for hope would be hope for the wrong thing. Wait without love, for love would be love of the wrong thing. There is yet faith, but the faith and the love are all in the waiting. Wait without thought, for you are not ready for thought. So the darkness shall be the light, and the stillness the dancing. Sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough. We die to each other daily. What we know of other people is only our memory of the moments during which we knew them, and they have changed since then. To pretend that they and we are the same is a useful and convenient social convention which must sometimes be broken. We must also remember that at every meeting we are meeting a stranger. The very existence of libraries affords the best evidence that we may yet have hope for the future of man. Most of the evil in this world is done by people with good intentions. For I have known them all already, known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. Genuine poetry can communicate before it is understood. What is hell? Hell is oneself. Hell is alone. The other figures in it, merely projections. There is nothing to escape from, and nothing to escape to. One is always alone. And to make an end is to make a beginning. Humankind cannot bear very much reality. If you aren't in over your head, how do you know how tall you are? I will show you fear in a handful of dust. There will be time to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. Unreal friendship may turn to real, but real friendship, once ended, cannot be mended. Between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act, Falls the shadow. You are the music while the music lasts. If you haven't the strength to impose your own terms upon life, then you must accept the terms it offers you. Time for you and time for me, and time yet for 100 indecisions and 100 visions and revisions, for the taking of a toast and tea. Through the unknown, remembered gate, the last of earth left to discover, is that which was the beginning. At the source of the longest river, and the children in the apple tree, not known, because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness between two waves of the sea. Footfalls echo in the memory, down the passage we did not take, towards the door we never opened, into the rose garden. Whatever you think, be sure it is what you think. Whatever you want, be sure that it is what you want. Whatever you feel, be sure that it is what you feel. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. I have heard the mermaids singing. Half the harm that is done in this world is due to people who want to feel important. They don't mean to do harm, but the harm does not interest them, or they do not see it, or they justify it because they are absorbed in the endless struggle to think well of themselves. Anxiety is the handmaiden of creativity. The purpose of literature is to turn blood into ink. Some editors are failed writers, but so are most writers. These fragments I have shored against my ruins. Poetry is not a turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality, but an escape from personality. But of course, only those who have personality and emotion know what it means to want to escape from these. Distracted from distraction by distraction. Immature poets imitate. Mature poets steal. We have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by sea girls wreathed with seaweed, red and brown, till human voices wake us, and we drown. For us, there is only the trying. The rest is not our business. Time, present, and time past are both perhaps present in time future, as time future contained in time past. A heap of broken images, where the sun beats, and the dead tree gives no shelter, the cricket no relief, and the dry stone no sound of water. Only there is shadow under this red rock. Come in under the shadow of this red rock, and I will show you something different from either your shadow at morning, striding behind you, or your shadow at evening, rising to meet you. I will show you fear in a handful of dust. It will do you no harm to find yourself ridiculous, to be the fool you are. We must always take risks. That is our destiny. Love is most nearly itself when here and now cease to matter. I learn a great deal merely by observing you and letting you talk as long as you please, and taking note of what you do not say. The endless cycle of idea and action, endless invention, endless experiment, brings knowledge of motion, but not of stillness, knowledge of speech, but not of silence, knowledge of words. All our knowledge brings us nearer to our ignorance. All our ignorance brings us nearer to death. But nearness to death, no nearer to God. Where is the life we have lost in living? Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? The cycles of heaven in 20 centuries bring us farther from God and nearer to the dust. So I find words I never thought to speak, in streets I never thought I should revisit, when I left my body on a distant shore. And it would have all been worth it, after all. Would it have been worthwhile, after the sunsets and the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, after the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this, and so much more? Success is relative, is what we make of the mess we have made of things. I read much of the night and go south in the winter. We don't actually fear death. We fear that no one will notice our absence, that we will disappear without a trace. I must tell you that I should really like to think that there's something wrong with me, because if there isn't, then there's something wrong with the world itself, and that's much more frightening. Words strain, crack, and sometimes break under the burden, under the tension, slip, slide, perish. Decay with imprecision, will not stay in place, will not stay still. To arrive where you are, to get from where you are not, you must go by a way wherein there is no ecstasy. In order to arrive at what you do not know, you must go by a way which is the way of ignorance. In order to possess what you do not possess, you must go by the way of dispossession. In order to arrive at what you are not, you must go through the way in which you are not. And what you do not know is the only thing you know. And what you own is what you do not own. And where you are is where you are not. We had the experience, missed the meaning. An approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form.